We are winning the World Series in 2022. Put it on record.
You are winning the World Series.
We are winning the World Series.
Hey, Cabeza, what a week, man.
Yes, it was. Yes, it was.
Yeah, I remember those long ago halcyon days of the pandemic when the Dodgers could win the postseason.
Years ago. I'm already not stopping. And
in the week since we've recorded our podcast, the Dodgers have completely collapsed and lost.
This is in the weeks that we were like, oh man, this is in the bag. Even Dave Roberts said, we got this in the bag. This is it. He said that.
Yeah, he jinxed it, man.
And yeah, I know what baseball is all about, jinx. Even, and I hate it because I enjoy it, but sometimes I have a hard time watching the playoffs. You're hoping that Roberts doesn't make a mistake. I don't know from watching these games if he made a mistake more than just we weren't ready. We just got, I don't know what else he could have done.
I don't see how you could say they weren't ready. The Dodgers won 111 games in the season, like the best record in the club's history. But the thing is, it's not just the Dodgers. I mean, the Yankees are out, the Braves are out, and now the Dodgers are out. And those were all 100-win-plus teams that are out.
I know.
But now, like, who's in it? The Phillies. They're
against the Padres.
And the Padres. They're both, like, 80-plus win teams. At least the Phillies are still in it, so I got somebody I can follow.
Are you going for the Phils?
Yeah, now I am, yeah.
See this nice...
Oh, you just...
Now, let me tell you
San
why.
Diego Padres hat. That's why they lost. You wore that before the Dodgers started playing. That's why they lost. You probably released that goose into the stadium.
I'm going to tell you.
I bet there is security camera footage with you like creeping off, ding, 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 like a little burglar, off camera, like releasing that goose. That was a San Diego goose. That was a plant, man.
Let me ask you though. This is a very important question because our opinions, I think, are going to cause ramifications as far as decision making in the MLB.
Oh, obviously.
I know it.
I know Dave Roberts is listening intently right now.
I know
to figure
not
out
just
what
Dave,
the game
but
plan
the higher ups, Magic Johnson, all the owners are probably taking into consideration.
They're on the edge of their seat right now.
Polo and Cabeza, I have to say.
Yeah, it's. I can guarantee you, we have the ears of the power in LA sports.
Dave Roberts, in or out.
It's like what I said before.
It's not what they would do. What would
I do?
Polo do?
I would keep him. I would keep him for the regular season. Then I would find like a Tony La Russa or somebody who knows how to win in the postseason to take over. What I said last time wasn't a joke. The Dodgers need a postseason manager who can win in the postseason because Roberts ain't it. He's not at all.
Are the Astros still in there?
Astros, I think they're still in it.
I think so. With Dusty Baker, man, that's who we should have had. I'm already off the Dave Roberts bandwagon. I think
he did the same. He panics. I don't know what happens with him, but the man panics because they win the first game. Second game, Kershaw starts. I'm like, okay, I'd already assumed that they were going to lose that one because
but you know what?
Kershaw in the postseason.
Played a good game,
but he played a good game. That was the whole thing. They still lost, and he still played a good game.
There. Our bats just couldn't get through that relief, relief lineup, man. Their relief lineup pitching had our number. It didn't matter. Mookie Betts, Will Smith, all these guys, Freddie Freeman.
It was a pretty big reversal. It was a reversal from the regular season. Yeah, it was a reversal from the regular season where the Dodgers consistently rallied even when they were behind, and they wiped the floor with San Diego last time they met. But
they won the whole series.
Yeah.
In the regular season, they kicked their butt.
But then third game, guy starts and like Roberts pulls him out after like an inning and a half or something like that because the guy and I'm like, oh, here we go. It's like, dude, Roberts.
No.
Leave the guy in there.
I saw that he had to get him out, man. He was in trouble.
You think he completely lost his confidence?
Honestly, this really fell on the team.
Oh yeah, no, the easy thing is to blame Roberts alone, but this is a team effort.
I mean, even like the mistakes, like Trey Turner just fumbling the ball, the game before, they just didn't do, and then not executing. Their lineup couldn't get hits, or when people were on base, they just couldn't get them in. They couldn't bring them home, and so
it just seemed like it was a completely different team last week.
I'm rooting for the fathers. Let's go,
fathers.
Let's go.
The fathers, the daddies,
I'm gonna tell you why.
the San Diego daddies.
I'm gonna give you how many reasons you want.
Go for it. Give me 3 reasons.
No. 3 reasons. 1, they wear the same color as my Indian people. Cafe, brown. We're giving a finger to Nuri. Nuri caused this, okay? She was the downfall to the Dodgers because she had hatred.
I think you're right. No. I think you're onto something.
The brown people got upset.
I think you're onto something because the goose, the rally goose. The rally goose may, like, if this were like ancient, like Greco-Roman times.
That was an omen.
That was an omen.
Yeah.
If this were ancient times, people would have been like, oh, that's a sign from the gods. Gosh. Yeah.
That's the sign. You were keeping our people down. And the angry, what is it? What was it called? Not a mallard.
It was a goose of some kind.
The angry goose. I mean, he was just like, he wasn't even a happy goose. Did you see his face? He was really pissed off.
Yeah, he didn't want to be there. It wasn't even a Canadian goose either. It didn't look like a Canadian goose. It looked like some other goose.
He was like,
it was a silly goose.
Yeah, he wanted to be known that the omen was against the Dodgers for keeping so.
Because after the goose appeared, that's when the Padres started winning.
Number 2, the city of San Diego. I mean, seriously, what else do they have?
Oh, everybody likes San Diego.
Come on, they're kind of like they have no sports team besides the Pods.
Well, they kind of still have the Chargers, even though they play here.
Well, I know here the running joke for those that are not from Los Angeles, because I know our podcast extends beyond
coast
LA,
to coast,
beyond West Covina,
Polo and Cabeza, coast to coast.
I mean, we have fans in other countries, potentially El Salvador too. I'm just saying.
We're international.
That is right. But yeah, it's San Diego.
San Diego, California welcomes you and your family to enjoy our beautiful beaches but everyone likes San Diego. It's a nice city. It's pleasant.
And the people, you know what? The people came out because normally they don't root for them. I mean, I've been to the stadium many a times, and it's sad to see other teams make it their home. The last thing, though, Polo.
Reason number 3.
Near and dear to my heart. His name is Yu Darvish.
Former Los Angeles Dodger pitcher Yu Darvish, who was released by the Dodgers right after the World Series with the Astros. Unfairly, it turns out, unfairly released because that was the year that the Astros were cheating by reading signs, and they knew all his signs.
Thank you. And it was his signs. It was his game.
Yep.
And the announcer said, when Yu Darvish is on the mound and it's the real game is on the line, he will melt down. That was so unfair. And he's such a humble guy. I like him. I don't know him, but it seemed like just in his interviews, and it really, really had an impact on his career. Good thing he got picked up by the Cubs and the Padres. Yeah. And so what I would love to see, the Pods give it with Yu Darvish.
Yeah.
Isn't that would be
that's nice, but here's my counterpoint to that.
Okay.
Manny Machado.
Machado.
Yeah, I don't like that guy.
Nobody likes that guy.
Yeah,
Even the Padre fans have a hard time when he comes up. They're like, Manny Machado. Yeah. Okay.
You get the one guy in the back. Get the one guy in the back.
Pause, you know, like, yeah, it's kind of like it's.
You hear crickets.
Man, it's just. It's because he has a smug face. He's just very confident and arrogant, right?
Yeah, he has a punchable. He definitely has a punchable face. He was a Dodger for a bit, and I didn't even like him when he was on the Dodgers. But
I don't know. It's you can't be too good of a team. If they didn't have him, they'd be the perfect team. Because I like Tatis, even though he's suspended, and I like. What's that new guy they have from the Washington Nationals? Yeah,
I couldn't tell you. I don't. He's
an
follow
awesome
him too
player.
much.
Yeah, he's an awesome player too. The fathers, man. Do you know the history? Do you know what's the deal with Mex-Tex food?
No, not really.
So I always used to complain. Have you ever had Mex-Tex food?
I don't think so. I mean,
All right. Cool.
not that
Well,
not that I'm aware of. I'll put it that way.
couple things like when you go out there and you have Mex-Tex food because they don't have authentic Mexican food. And I always felt like, why are you cheating me with this food that tastes so bland and American? And they give you like this thing that they love is like melted cheese, and you dip and that's actually pretty good. They call it queso. Sir, do you want some queso?
Oh yeah, queso.
Yeah,
I know
but
queso,
it's
yeah,
melted. But they don't do it out
that's
here.
that's like nacho cheese, right?
Yeah, exactly. But you don't go to a Mexican restaurant here and be like, "Hey, can I have some queso?" They'll be like, "What? ¿Qué, señor?" And like they'll bring you salsa, but they don't do the.
You know what? You're right. I never made that connection.
A ta-da moment. Exactly.
You're absolutely right. I have never.
Go to Texas. Go to the South. Sir, can I have they'll bring you queso before they bring you the salsa. But out here it's different. It's like they'll bring you the salsa. You ask anyone here in a Mexican restaurant, they'll look at you like side-eyed, like.
Yeah, you either get the verde or the roja.
And then if they're jerks, they'll be like, do you mean queso? Like they'll try to correct you because it's they do the queso.
Oh yeah, can I get some queso there, senor? Senor Rita?
Can I get some? Yeah, but yeah, so the
I never,
thing,
but really, I never made that connect. It's like I've never, because to me, like nachos.
Yeah,
if you say nachos,
but it's good though.
But
right?
for me, it's nachos, and it's the nachos with the cheese. Like you get at the movie theater or whatever, like that.
Yeah.
But I never made the connection that no Mexican restaurant I've ever been in has ever served melted cheese with chips. It's always salsa of some kind.
Yeah.
That has never clicked in my head.
So next time you go to the South, down in Texas and beyond, ask for queso, and they'll bring it to you like, "Do you want some jalapeno, sir?" I'll throw that. And it's like what you said. It's a natural.
Can I get some queso there, por favor?
You know what? Next time I'll say, "Hey, can I get some nachos?" Because it's that thing that.
Yeah.
Just pour it over for me, please. I want to take a jab at the Canadians. I want to say, why are you trying to be America?
I don't think they are.
Oh yeah. You haven't seen the news? They do like the truckers get upset and they start doing.
Oh yeah, I heard. I didn't really pay much attention to it because it was Canada, but
and then they have their current prime minister who's a hoot.
He's a hoot, but yeah, they did some kind of trucker thing up there, didn't they? Like
Like I know in the U.S. and for those of you that are listening outside of the United States, because we have so many listeners outside of the U.S.
We're big. We're big internationally.
We're huge.
We're huge.
We really don't care.
We are
what's
grande.
going on around in the world.
No.
Muy grande.
Muy grande.
We don't really care what's going on. The honest reality is that our news doesn't feed us anything but our own news. And, things like what's happening with Kim Kardashian and Nuri Martinez are more important to us.
Yeah, it's like, did you hear what Kanye said? That's what's more important than anything else going on.
Than anything else. So just no apologies there, okay? But yeah, no, I mean, Canada was trying to do kind of the same deals, and they were holding people down, and they had this whole thing with Justin Trudeau, and I guess he was trying to bring the people to thought he had the power, and no, okay, well,
I have no idea. I just imagine
a circus going
angry
on
Canadian truckers like, oh, we're angry, we're gonna drive our trucks out there and
no maple syrup.
Yeah, you're not gonna have any maple syrup there, so you might want to consider your actions when we show up and express our displeasure at what's going on. Eh?
It's make fun of Canadians a little bit. There was this Netflix special about each country and greed and the businesses and what they had done, and then they went to like China and all these people trying to embezzle money. But then when it came to Canada, it was literally an episode about maple syrup and how there was a mafia for maple syrup. And I was like,
the maple syrup cartel.
We're gonna drown you in maple syrup. Tell us now. We'll give you diabetes in 10 years.
We're gonna put you.
Oh, Canadians, you're so fat. Oh.
We're gonna put you in that barrel there, the maple syrup. If you don't play ball, I'm sorry, things are just gonna go kind of bad for you.
Yeah, I love. Yeah. Now we're out of Canada. Polo, we're not gonna have any listeners in Canada anymore.
I know. Well, it's all right. I have a cousin who actually makes maple syrup.
Really?
Yeah. He has a
Okay.
farm. He has a farm where all the trees are tapped, and he makes makes his own maple syrup and sells it in the area up there. So I wonder if
he's up there in Canada.
well, he's not in Canada. He's in Wisconsin. So
okay.
yeah, he's just south of the
You
border.
better
So
be careful,
I
man.
think
That
maybe,
mafia.
like some folks south of the border, he might be smuggling some of that sweet gold, brown gold, liquid gold
Man.
up past the
'cause
border there.
You gotta be careful. Canadians, this is the whole fight. They only allow certain people in certain areas to make the maple syrup. Just letting you know.
Well, that sounds like
he may get some.
well, he's got those clandestine there. He's got the mules bringing the bottles of maple syrup across the border, hoping they don't get caught. Flying planes. People on radios keeping lookout for each other. He's standing at customs and like you're trying to smuggle in the bottles of maple syrup and you're hoping the bottles don't clink together and give it away when the customs guy is talking to you.
He's leaving a dangerous world.
Yeah,
man.
and then like the Mounties, like someone gets caught and the Mounties are on TV with like the little bottles of maple syrup spread out on a table saying, "Oh, we recovered over $45 worth of maple syrup that someone was trying to smuggle in across the border, eh? Oh, it's a major maple bust, I'm telling you."
You laugh. I'm telling you. I'm gonna send you that link to that episode, and I was just amazed that we were literally talking about that. It was just like
Canadian
okay,
maple
guys.
syrup cartel.
Don't we have a new segment to our show?
Like
what's going on in Hollywood?
Yeah, to the bop
like that.
bop 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 bop. We watch a lot of TV from Disney Plus to HBO Max.
Yay! Let's go. What's the first show, Polo?
What
you
in
got?
the world is Polo and Cabeza watching? Let's see. Oh, I don't even know if that's
You're
going to
gonna
stay
talk
in.
about the Andor. You're gonna talk about. Come on.
Andor, yeah, Andor is
because I haven't
fantastic.
watched it.
Andor is
And
fantastic.
I love your recommendations because when you tell me something, and then I watch, I'm like, okay, he was right.
Yeah.
You have yet to do a Willie Smith on me where you just strike out.
I got a pretty good batting
Or I
average
should
so
probably
far.
say. Yeah, you're doing really good.
No, so like Andor is really good. It is.
Yeah, is it really?
It's
It's
probably my favorite piece of like new Star Wars stuff that's come out.
really.
Oh yeah. I'm
What
not
was the last one? Okay, is it better than Obi-Wan?
so far. Yes.
Because I didn't think Obi-Wan was that great.
Obi-Wan
it was
has
just-
Obi-Wan has its moments.
No,
That's because like Ewan McGregor is like he is not. Here's the thing. This is what I'll say, but it's Ewan McGregor. He carries that show. He
Just
is
like
not.
the
He is
movie.
not sleepwalking, dude. He is not sleepwalking through that series. He is like
No,
giving it
not
his
at
all.
all. He's giving it all.
That's
It's
the
like-
thing that amazed me is like he is in a streaming TV show, but he's treating it like he's doing Shakespeare. I mean, he is like, I'm coming at this hard. It has its moments, and most of the best moments involve him, talking, doing stuff. The thing about Obi-Wan is that last episode is probably the best one with him and Vader talking to each other.
Yeah.
I liked that part a lot. But Andor, man,
Really?
on every single, it hits everything. There's no Jedi in it. There's no other. They haven't done like the weird aliens yet. It's very grounded and very. It's really small, focused on like a handful of people, but the characterization in it is out of this world. It's like, I don't want to say it's a mature Star Wars thing because it's still Star Wars, but it's as mature as far as themes, characters, and situations that Star Wars has done. So like,
Well,
a dude says shit on that show, which for Star Wars is like saying the F word.
that's a big,
Yeah.
big deal.
They show
man.
people getting ready to get it on. And then they show
No.
people after they got it on.
Oh,
Yeah.
what?
Yeah, like there's like a scene where like the lady's on the side of the bed, like putting her shirt back on and everything. It's it goes to some places. But the other part of it is that's really cool is that it doesn't treat shooting people and killing people as like, well, they're just cannon fodder. They just died. Like the whole thing kicks off because Andor gets into some trouble with just like 2 local corporate cops. From there, it just spirals off into this whole thing. But I can't recommend it enough. The characterization, the plotting, the pacing, the dialogue. The dialogue is great. I mean, they just say what they need to say and get on. And the latest episode was a heist episode that basically built up over the last 3 episodes. And it's great. They've got Skarsgård in there. That dude is great.
What does he do there?
He's like
he's an awesome. He's always that weird scientist or something.
Yeah, but in this one, he's more like toward his more dramatic side than his kooky side. So this is more like, dramatic actor, but it's awesome. It was like watching, like with Obi-Wan, the show is what it was, but when you watched Ewan McGregor acting, he was doing so much subtle stuff, like the subtlety of his acting, the way he was, he wasn't like overplaying it. He wasn't chewing scenery. It's the same thing in Andor, where all of the actors, like this is a show where if you were just scrape off the Star Wars name, it's just a good show on its own. Like you said, if you liked Rogue One, you will definitely like Andor, because the same people who wrote Rogue One and were involved in that production are writing this show. But what have you been watching? What have you been up to?
So I watched the Showtime episode on Hulu with Laker Dynasty as narrated by, I think she had a lot to do with it, Jeannie Buss.
Oh,
and
really?
And it went all the way back from
the daughter of
got the team,
the daughter of Jerry Buss.
Yep, got the team all the way to the current time, and when Kobe died, and LeBron James, and it even kind of showed a little bit of the friction with the kids and the power. I call them the kids, but the Buss family and wanting to take over the Laker dynasty and who was going to be at the helm. And yeah, you can kind of sense it was a lot of so I watched that. Great show. It's more like a biography, and you get perspectives from everyone. Some of the cases I wish they would have opened a little bit more and let out a little bit more of the dirt, but they didn't. They even talked about when Irvin left, and he because Magic Johnson was the president for a while to bring James, and then he just kind of left. And it's funny to watch how people react and what they say after the fact. So
yeah, I mean, if you got the family involved, they're probably not going to go too far into the more seedier parts.
No, they were pretty open on that.
Oh, really?
They did really good. Yeah, they were pretty open. It was just maybe on some of the players, but I guess they couldn't say too much because there are existing players in the roster. It would have been nice to hear that. I gotta say, Hulu has really got my attention.
Really? They
got some good shows.
Really?
I watched the Mike Tyson one too.
Oh, what was that
based on
about?
The Broadway show.
I don't have Hulu, so I have no idea. What's the... Is Mike Tyson involved in it, or is it...
No, it's just somebody who plays it. It just basically goes like from his... like where he grew up to where he rose and then he fell, and then what he's doing. And the actor was really good. It was a good show. Again, I honestly, Hulu has some good stuff out there that I've actually... Atlanta is another one. I don't know if you heard about Atlanta.
That's with Donald Glover?
Yeah.
Yep.
Really good. It's kind of weird, quirky kind of deal. And also, I think her name is Swiss Beats or something like that. Or maybe I'm thinking of somebody else. But like those actors, they do a good job. So I'm going to give props to Hulu. Make sure if you can, it would be worth just watching some of those shows.
They did the Pam and Tommy Lee movie, didn't they?
I didn't watch that because that was a little bit... I feel like I'm trying to limit how much I watch, because almost every show that I watch there, I started binging, and I feel like I just don't want to do that with my time, because I was waiting for this whole thing with the Showtime every Sunday for the new episode. I was like, man, why am I doing this?
Oh,
it was at 9. Yeah. Well, no, this is the one on Hulu.
Oh, the one on Hulu.
The HBO one was great too.
Yeah, the HBO one was really good. I like that. You could tell it was obviously not quite factual.
definitely.
about everything.
I mean, there was
There's a lot of dramatization, like you said, going on
big
there. Yeah.
time. I mean, poor Jerry West. The logo.
Yeah, Jerry West got treated dirty in that, but at the same time, he's the best character in the show.
Is the best one. Maybe they took a little elements that Jerry gets nervous or whatever, and then they just made him like this raging asshole that throws stuff around.
Yeah, that hated to be there and didn't want to do it, and you're like,
competes but loves it. It's just kind of a weird,
like he hates himself, that kind of whole thing.
Yeah, for sure.
But the burning question I have, like I've been hot on Andor. I love Andor. But speaking of hot, how is Hot D, House of the Dragon?
Woo, House of the Dragon, my friend. I know you're not there yet, and you've lost faith.
No, I just after having my time wasted with Game of Thrones, I'm not watching anymore.
Mr. Senor George let you down.
I don't know. No, it wasn't George that let me down. It was whoever was running that show.
Was trying to complete a book that he never completed. But this show, House of the D, man.
House of the D.
They own up to it, man. It's like somebody pitched the tent and said, look at me. I'm right here. And I'm that good.
So you're saying someone pitched a tent on House of the D?
Somebody at House of D pitched it up and is taking ownership. And I have taken notice, my friend. It's a damn good show.
Really?
From the characters to the scenes, the investment they make on it, and they give the game and they give just to give you an idea. So the throne, the chair that everyone wants to sit in, right? The original one, they didn't give it the way that it was supposed to look. It was supposed to have a bunch of swords that had basically fallen in battle or given themselves to this family, and they were they made it part of obviously the chair itself, but there was also all these other swords. They do that.
Okay. Because in the books that throne is massive with all the swords. Yeah.
Yeah. They don't make it as massive as the book, but still they're trying to give credit for what the book is. And they do that. And there's little subtleties that you almost have to listen to what the director intended after the show's, whatever episode's over to, okay, yeah, I see that now. They do an awesome job. And it's I think what I enjoyed more about, Game of Thrones was when they were doing like the plotting and talking, and then you would get the splash, but all this kind of, and oh man, it happens. And it's in different timelines. So it's kind of going back and forth.
Oh, really?
And it's all about the Kardashians on dragons. It's awesome, man.
But how are the actors on that show? How are the?
Oh, they're good.
Is like everybody getting buck naked? It seems to be like a contractual requirement.
People think like it doesn't happen that much, or maybe I've been just kind of desensitized because they were saying the last episode had a lot of the butt nakedness, but it wasn't that bad.
I mean, that's to me, when I think of Game of Thrones, I think of big battles and buck naked people.
Really?
Yeah.
I always think of the red wedding. That's what I always think of. That's the first thing. And then I think of the Battle of the Bastards.
Oh, yeah.
Obviously, gory scenes. Those are my favorite scenes, by the way.
It's
a great scene.
From back when the show was good.
Well, it was basically coming to an end, but that was, at least they did a good job on that scene. It was kind of like 300, but not to that extreme of 300. It just what a battle should be.
Yeah, but that last season,
dragons.
That last season was just the dumbest thing I've ever. It's.
Well,
I don't even want to talk about it anymore. It's so bad. Yeah, you can tell they were trying to race. You can tell they were trying to race to the finish line. They didn't care if they completed any storylines or what. They're like, well, we got this many episodes. Let's just race to the finish, and what happens.
Senor George, though, you won't be disappointed. I think you will find the faith in him and in HBO. It's a good show.
Find faith in HBO.
Yep. We used to when I used to be go to school in LA. There was this guy that played Ice Baby. He would roll up in his car, like he had a hat on, like he would wear it like this. And like, doom, 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 doom. And the whole time, man. And it would be like, oh, it's
Word to su madre.
yeah, word to your mother. We just thought it was funny that this dude would play it all the time, like the whole Friday. He would roll around, we'd be playing basketball, and he'd be like, just with trying to get attention from the young girls.
With Vanilla Ice.
With Vanilla Ice in his hat.
The coolest rapper ever.
The coolest at that time rapper for like a split second.
Yeah. In Living Color, totally
destroyed
him, man. That dude.
Jim Carrey, man.
Yeah, that one skit, man. It was like 5 minutes, and his entire career was over, dude. It was
after that, like no respect for black people or anyone.
Yeah, but they showed like how much of a clown he was, you know, because he was a poser in a lot of ways. But then you watch, like, you look at Vanilla Ice now. He does like those home improvement shows. Have you seen it? Like he does DIY, like he's like a house flipper now.
No.
Yeah. He has a show. I don't know if it's on HGTV or DIY Network, but he has this whole thing where he buys houses and flips them. He's actually, I mean, he does well at it, but that's like his gig now. He flips houses. He's gone from stop, collaborate, and listen to putting up cornices, and stuff like redecorating garages.
I rooted for him, and I knew he must have had it hard, right?
I mean,
I know he was on top of the world, and he had Madonna for a while, but
yeah.
But I mean, still, did
you ever see this?
Been hard.
Did you ever see? Remember, like, who was the network? They used to do the show with celebrities.
Celebrity shows. Yeah, that's where
like all the washed up celebrities would go on that show. It was like almost like Big Brother, but it was for celebrities. They would go into a house and live together for a while.
You know what I remember most about that show is 3 things: Vanilla Ice, Flavor Flay.
Oh yeah,
and then Flavor Flay hooking up with Sonja.
Yes. Oh yeah, with Red Sonja. Oh man, you're right. He did. Brigitte Nielsen. Brigitte Nielsen.
Oh, I used to have a big crush on her.
Oh yeah, she was like an Amazon.
Yeah, I mean, how old was she? She was in her 60s by then, though.
Maybe 50s. Because that show came on in like the early 2000s, right? I can't remember. What was it called?
I don't know. It's dude, she gave birth to a child at 54.
Holy cow.
She was born in 1963.
Oh, okay. So that would make her 58, 59 years old right now?
No.
If she was born in
59.
Yeah.
Oh, wow. So she must, that show was what? 15? She looked pretty.
But that show was like 15 years ago. What I remember from that show is Vanilla Ice.
Strange Love.
But that was a show they did after that.
Show, yeah.
Yeah, that was like a spin-off show that they did. I remember Vanilla Ice, but I remember Tammy Faye Baker and Ponch from Chips was on there.
But they didn't hook up.
No, they didn't hook up, but I just remember them from and Peter, you know who did hook up? Peter Brady.
Oh yeah, he married her.
And some model. I can't remember her name.
Yeah.
They hooked up on the show, and then they did their own show called like Growing Up Brady or something like that.
Yeah.
After that, but they had to have broken up because those two you could tell those two just did not have anything in common.
Adrienne Marie Curry or something is what
Adrienne Curry. That's her name. Yeah. Yeah, those two, that was like an odd pairing right there because it seemingly they didn't have anything in common.
Yeah.
But Christopher Knight, he's like middle-aged. He's not going to turn down a girl in her mid to late 20s who was like clearly infatuated with him.
Yeah, so she was 24 because she's 40 now.
Wow, she was 24 and he had to have been in his 40s.
He was 49.
He was 40.
Yeah, that was a big thing. The age difference.
That's a massive age difference.
Wow.
Yeah, they had a lot of interesting characters on that show, man. Like Vanilla Ice, they had Ponch from Chips in one season. They had Tammy Faye Baker and Ron Jeremy on one season. Yeah, but Vanilla Ice, when he did his season, you could tell he was still angry about like what had happened to him.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Because he tore up. Like, didn't he go on like a rampage and like tear up the set? You know, like
Yeah.
the house they were in, like just wreck everything.
Yeah. You're remembering.
Yeah, he was like, he still had a lot of anger. But then you had like sad stuff, like Mini-Me was on one of the seasons, Vern Troyer.
Oh
And like they played it for laughs, where like his drinking, he was an alcoholic apparently. He had a drinking problem.
Remember he was like naked?
Yeah, that was the whole thing. They played it for laughs where he's naked and he's just pissing all over the place. Like he's on his little electric scooter and like doesn't know where he's at.
And now it's like so bad to do that. I think that's why that show got.
Well, that was the 2000s in general were really mean. That was a mean decade where they took a lot of stuff that's kind of sad and played it for laughs. You know, held people up for mockery and ridicule when they needed help, man. That dude, like you're looking at it and it's like on one hand you're like, oh, this is funny, but on the other hand it's like, this dude needs help, man. This dude's like an alcoholic. This is not normal behavior, you know? It was sad, man. It's like, because that little dude, he died.
Yeah, well, he didn't have a long lifespan, but it didn't help to drink that much either.
Yeah.
Hey, man, I'm gonna have to drop out.
All right.
I'm looking at Bridget Nielsen's life now, and I can't do that.
Okay.
It's like, why?
So, with that, I've been Polo. My friend's been Cabeza.
Buenas noches, gente.
And that'll do it for this week. We'll talk to you next time on What in Tarnation?